right, here's my question: how long has gotcha games been around in general?
Ooh, that's a good question. What's the first gotcha game?
But we're talking about at least double-digit years, like almost 10 years, a decade of gotcha
Is
games,
Brave
right?
Exvius up
Wars.
there? But
Summoner
they own
Wars.
their
I think it
IP.
was one of the first.
Which one was the
Brave,
first?
Summoner's Wars. It's like 12 years running or more. I
but
forgot.
they own the IP though.
Well, no. So that's not what
Yeah,
I was.
they do.
That's not
They
what I
do.
was trying to. That's not the reason why I was. What I'm trying to bring up is, like, the developers are acting as if gotcha games only been out for like a year or two, and that they don't have history to work on. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're in your own bubble of your region and stuff like that, but that's where that's where Don brought up, and I wanted to ask you guys because it's like how you said that their internet access is more limited and it's different and stuff like that, but they're not stuck in the Stone Ages. Like,
Yeah.
and if you're thinking about it this way, that limitation, from my understanding, I don't want to speak as if I know this, but a multi-million-dollar company probably has more freedom than the average Joe in the public, and they also have the ability to, I don't know, go out of their region, say, hey, Bob, fly to America, use their internet and see stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like these, like, I don't want to say excuses, but that's what it sounds like. It's like a lot of these statements defending or trying to put up against the devs. It's like they're excuses. We're not clear of blood on our hands. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
It's
I'm
like we're
coping.
not wrong.
I'm literally coping. I'm trying to make sense of it all myself, my
Yeah,
friend.
it
But-
just feels weird. It feels like
I
they got a
made a-
gun aimed at their own foot, and
Yeah,
they keep shooting.
yeah, I made a comment. I think this was week 2, back when I wasn't even a champion yet. This is how long ago it was. But basically, I had made a metaphor that, you know, everywhere else around the world is learning how to build boats and sail across the ocean into new territory, right? And they're all building boats and they're all learning how to build boats together and they all build similar boats. And then Topjoy is cutting down a tree and throwing it in the water, hoping that it floats. And then
Yeah,
they'll figure
it's
it out.
mind blowing.
But then I think Dino chimed in and was like, you know, there's a lot of just the same thing Dino has to say every single time. It's not because he likes saying it; it's because he has to. There's a lot of constraints. There's a lot of constraints there, and there might be. I'm probably shilling a little bit here, and I hate to use that term, but I've been called a shill before. But you know, it's just like, am I trying to make excuses for the devs, and I'm trying to make sense of it all as a player, as a member of the community? Yes, I'm trying to cope and just trying to figure out what's the best kind of self narrative that I can create to make this sound a lot better in my head, even though I don't know everything. That's the narrative that I'm creating. It's like Crunchyroll. I'm just trying to. I don't know the dynamic 100% in and out. The IP licensing, server costs, the development. You know what product they're trying to push out. But at the end of the day, I think everybody can agree that, you know, there's a lot of egregious actions, and it's all compiling up every single time something new rolls out. And sometimes we often forget about the Summer Yangs and the street poisons here and there, but you know, it just can't. It sucks. It can't be like that all the time. It just
feels
does.
like it's malicious compliance. Like they're doing their job so that they won't get in quote unquote trouble, but they're doing it to the point where it's gonna close the company down and they won't get blamed. That's what it
I
seems
think of
like.
it like a Las Vegas casino, right? Like somebody can gamble and lose their money and never come back, but somebody else is going to walk in the door and do the same thing. My biggest concern is making sure that the person who walks in through that door, the new person who walks in through that door, has a good experience. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, but see, the problem is with gambling and stuff like that, the house always wins, but at least the house makes it seem like you're about to win. These devs, they don't do that. They close the door, they nail it, and then they're like, all right, you want to gamble, you have to find your way into the building first.
Yeah, you seasoned my metaphor perfectly.
The strategy is bad. The decision making is bad.
I mean,
And
let
one
me
thing
just.
I was wondering when you said that when you first said like 3 months ago that the devs are different than the publishers and the IP is not owned. I did some research, and the longest game that lasted without ownership of the IP was 1.2 years.
Oh damn.
This is the longest game, and it was super successful. Dokkan is a different thing. Dokkan was owned. The IP was owned.
No. Dokkan is actually licensed. Bandai doesn't own Dragon Ball at all.
What do they own then?
They just license. They own development for the game, so they're like a Top Joy, but they don't own the IP. So they also have to have their own costs that they have to pay.
Yeah, like Capcom. Okay. So the publishers and the devs are on the same side, but the original owner of the IP is something else, which is you can get a license for. Here, the publishers are something, the devs are something, and the original IP owner is something else. Like Capcom and Crunchyroll, A+, and the devs. There they have the publishers and the devs, and they have the IP owner, which is a different concept. I'm talking about our same situation. There's no game that lasted that much. And I'm really scared because this game is doing high numbers, and other games did high numbers, but in the end they just shut down. They discontinued the project.
You're doing like similar comparisons to this relationship fully.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I don't think you should look into so much detail because again, I don't know the IP that was worked on, but Dokkan is actually the licensed game you should pay attention to because they don't own Dragon Ball. Like the cost for Dragon Ball is insane, probably way more than Street Fighter actually.
Yeah, I know that.
Jump is
Especially, and the player base is bigger than here.
It's nuts.
I think the consumers for Dragon Ball are completely different than Street Fighter consumers. Also, it's multimedia with Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? I just had something on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, so we were talking about Capcom's venture into, let's just say, North America, right? They tried 2 different games, and one was a card battling game, and one was puzzle fighters. Are they still around?
Which ones?
So I believe that Capcom did 2 games. They did a puzzle fighter game, and they did a card style game.
I didn't even know they existed.
But those aren't gotchas. They're not gotchas. No.
They're not gotchas, but I remember. Well, you still had to buy the. Yeah, they're not gotchas. You're right. That was. I'll disregard. They're not gotchas.
Those are temporary projects. Like once you know that, they're temporary because it shows that they want it to work, but they also know it's not going to last forever. So
yeah, I love Puzzle Fighter. I bought all that they had. They had Mega Man, and they had all kinds of got all kinds of Capcom dudes up in there. The Mega Man was the cool one, but I digress.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because like I just downloaded. It just launched, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. The new Harry Potter game. So
Oh yeah, I saw that. How is it?
I love it. I'm a Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. So
It looks like Dragalia Lost. Remember? Has anybody played Dragalia Lost? That game was phenomenal.
You know
that,
what
that
it-
game should-
you know what it reminds me
Yeah,
of?
it was nice.
It reminds me of what's that Clash game where there's cards and then you gotta send your people across the map and to
Clash Royale.
Clash Royale. So it's literally Clash Royale but sideways. And instead of 3 bases, so the way the battle works is you have your wizard and the enemy wizard, and then there's a square with the wizard, there's the battle arena or whatever, and you got cards which are your spells, and then you can move the cards onto the field. So like if it's like an AoE spot, you could put where it's gonna go on the AoE. If you have minions, you activate the minion and they'll walk across and hit the person. So it's very Clash Royale style.
I gotta be honest. I don't mess with wizards. They just freak me out.
I love Harry Potter, so but the one thing that immediately I noticed day one, the first hour I logged in, their pity is amazing. Their regular banner is if you don't get anything after 30 pulls, you get something. And then their actual special summon banner, when you gotta pay money for, is if you don't get anything at 50, you're guaranteed something at 50. And it says it.
Turtle, you reminded me something. My friend looked at the game files again for Street Fighter Duel, and the pity 100. It's not 250 anymore.
I'm glad. Hopefully, Payne's video must have like showed them like, oh shit, we're screwing around, because like 100 and 250 for pity is they literally just do not care about this game. At this certain point,
no.
They don't watch
just
video.
for divination, not for limited banner. Limited banner is still 200. I think 300.
Oh man,
limited.
Just to give you guys clue, they don't watch the videos. By the way, we just send them the details of what people are talking about.
Yeah.
But they don't watch videos.
Man,
I mean, it makes
They
sense.
don't
It's not
understand
in
the
their
videos.
bubble.
Why would they
So.
watch it? Like,
man, so
and the
you mean
translation from Google is bad.
they go home from work and they sleep on their pillow and
Humans don't exist.
China?
We're all
Leave?
robots.
No, mate. No. They just go and work on something else, bro. Probably a developer and a mechanic at the same time.
But I don't know, man. When I saw the 30 pity and the 50 pity, I was just like, yo, I'm about to spend my money on this game, because holy crap.
I mean, it's just like I see what the devs are doing. It's like they invented something like a coffee machine that makes coffee, and they sold it to this owner of the shop, and the owner said, "Oh, you stay there and work. I'll give you a small percentage of the money after he bought this shit from them." And what they do is, because they wanted to stop and to make another coffee machine and sell it to somebody else, they start spitting inside the coffee. That's what they're doing right now with Street Fighter Duel.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm seeing the Reddit now. Why do I have to pay $60 to complete a challenge? I didn't see this. All right, well, anyone else got anything they want to say? I feel like we're at this point now running in circles over the topics. Because it's realistic.
No, all good, but it was hype today. So, yeah.
No, I mean, it's
Anyways.
the thing is, and it's funny because Tix mentioned that he was like, these calls are therapy sessions. It's like, I don't, it was never aimed for it to be like a rant rave type of thing. And it was just more of like what I said before. It's like, if we're handed something rotten, we're going to respond in kind. And hopefully, you know, they change stuff and we do things. Because like when for example, the Akuma event, when we were talking about the Akuma event, people were mostly positive. They weren't saying screw the devs or anything at that point.
my fault. I got a phone call in the middle of that sleeping on the pillow thing.
But like, you know, and one thing I will say, even though we have a lot of gripes, just the same way as I'm going to throw a lot of vitriol and anger at them, I will acknowledge the stuff that they're doing that's good. You know, let's acknowledge that the events are better. Let's acknowledge that the quality of life stuff is happening. And they are testing and trying things differently. So, you know, it's not all bad. They have done some amazingly good stuff. And the one thing that I also do want to throw out is the game at its core is amazing. It is very free to play. It is very welcoming. The game itself is amazing.
I hate negativity, but you need to state the facts. It was.
It still is though. Like if you start a new account,
Really?
And
okay.
but
I'm
that's
gonna ask you something. I'm gonna ask you a small thing.
what's up?
Everything that they release is bugged. Then
That
where's
don't mean
the,
listen,
where's the
it's
testers?
broken. Yeah.
Do you test even? Do they play their game? The devs. I want to ask them that.
But at the end of the day,
sadly, they
it
don't
does
talk.
not mean that the game itself is still not good. What I'm trying to say is like all that, yeah, that's added stuff. But at the core of what the game is, it's a really good game. It could be better. It could be the best. But
I
at
play
the core,
gacha games.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go
I play
ahead.
gacha games a lot, like a lot of different gacha games, like some weird ass ones as well, and like figure fantasy, like anything that you could, even any idol.
Throw it out there,
RPG.
chicks. You played the maid gotcha game. We already know it. You got
Yeah,
waifus all over the
play
place.
a lot, right? I play a lot, but this game in particular, I like is the only one that I've stick for this long, like 3 or 4 months, right? It's because the game is actually really fun. Like unlike other gacha games, where it's just mindlessly. Okay, I like to always say that this is like a cash grab, right? But the other ones are also like that, right? It's just like how gacha games is perceived. But then it's just in like the gameplay and how the mechanics is unique. Like it never there's like in usual gacha games, it's always just tap and let the game do it for you, and all you do is just pay money. But this one actually implements skill and gacha in a really good way that I've never seen other gacha games do.
Like what?
Like okay, for example, okay, I don't know, AFK Arena has skill, right? But then it's just more in the battle. Like most gacha games, you formulate your team, you theory craft, and then you just press the auto button, or you have special niches, but not in the extent where you have control over your gameplay and you cannot replicate 1-to-1 from someone else's run to your run just because you have the exact same. Even if you have the exact same unit, you time it differently, you just play differently, you have your own style, your own niches, and it makes a greater impact. When to use it, when not to use it, and stuff like that. With other games, you just look at a certain, you can replicate it too easily because all you need is the exact same unit with the exact same levels. That's just what I'm trying to. I don't know if you understand where I'm getting at.
They could, I feel like is that they can control what they want to do with the account more.
Yeah, which is rare for a gacha game. Like this is why I actually really enjoy this game, and of course I really want it to strive. But yeah, I would say this game, even though people clown that it's a reskin of AFK Arena, like just the battle mechanics alone is actually
It's
super unique and
Yeah.
super enticing.
Absolutely. That statement has been said many a time. That's why I said the game itself. If we throw out Top Joy, we throw out A+, we throw out Crunchyroll, and put no name on it. You know how like when you're playing online and you just hide the gamer tags. The game itself is amazing and it's fun. Everything else attached to it, it's the problem.
Yeah,
Okay, so
like
you like the game, so you have to thank Top Joy for that. Really. The ones that are also making the CN
Wait,
version,
okay.
everything that people
Hold on,
praise.
hold on. I want to add on to that. Okay. Thank you for those that were at Top Joy that made this game. Because I don't think those people are there anymore.
No, it's the same. It's the same teams.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's the same team, but the people on the team may not be the same. It might not be Bob, Billy, Joe, and Maddox. It could probably be Kelly, Joanne, and Joseph. That's all I'm saying. I'm blaming Kelly, Joanne, and Joseph for the fuck ups.
Don't forget Joseph, dude. His birthday last week, bro.
Right? You know
They're the
what?
same team, but they made a Chinese experience, and they made it to the Chinese culture. As Dino told me before, the game style for the Chinese game is different than the Chinese people saw our global game, and the reviews were bad. They didn't like it. They said there's not too much gameplay in it. The Chinese love to play 24 hours a game. And the Chinese version have like 1 million bosses, 1 million things to do, and it's a grindy game. You need to grind daily, endlessly. You can stay up playing 24 hours grinding for something and you won't stop. There's a stamina system there. If they do this to global, the game will not be played. It's unplayable. I can't bear to play the Chinese version, to be honest.
Well, it probably doesn't. Well, between the Chinese version and the global version or the Top Joy version too, it's like, you know, does the Chinese version have the same business model? Are they going to be making money to pay for the license? You know what I mean?
I don't know nothing about the publishers for the Chinese or Taiwanese. Maybe Dino have more info about that.
It's Tencent, I think. So they still have to do the same thing we do. And Topjoy, obviously, since they're developing the game, they also have to pay a fee to Capcom.
Except Tencent has pockets.
Yeah, Tencent got their fingers in everything.
Tencent are straight up thugs, man.
Yo,
Tencent, if they told the devs,
All right.
The two gangs of the world. The two gangs of the world. This Tencent and Amazon.
My favorite game, Path of Exile. Tencent owns 49% of them. They like bought. They're like, let us buy, and they're like, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
So Path of Exile is 49% owned by Tencent.
Oh.
That's big.
I think League of Legends too. League of Legends.
No, yeah.
They need a Tencent.
League of Legends is completely
Riot.
owned by
I heard
Tencent.
that.
Yeah, Riot.
Actually, me and OG, we're playing a game that's made from Tencent. Their studio, Timmy. We're playing some Pokemon Unite right now, actually.
Yeah.
So they're everywhere.
Okay, I was gonna bring up Tencent and Pokemon Unite too.
Yeah,
By the way,
Tencent and Amazon. They each hold
Tencent
the world.
are crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you something. The devs of Street Fighter Duel. Here, Crunchyroll and A+. If they tell like the devs Topjoy, like, can you do this? We want this. They can straight up tell them no. And Crunchyroll and A+ will be like, okay, we tried. So Tencent goes to Topjoy and tell them, hey, implement this shit. And they tell them no. Somebody is f***ing getting beaten, getting f***ed up. They will not have money to feed their family. They're getting bullied. They know how to come and approach them. They go and tell them, we're not asking. Do this shit. Tencent is strict. And they
I'm
Chinese
gonna send an email to Tencent. I got a homie at Tencent, dude. I'll send him an email like, hey, can you just buy Topjoy and fix our game, please?
Seriously, man.
Help me. Please. I am actually part Chinese, dude.
Honestly, that's actually the best way because the developers themselves and how these teams run, I think A+ is the same way, but most of them are pretty small. And I'm sure a lot of them would love to get bought out by a big company, which a lot of people say buyouts are bad, but like if a publisher buys out a studio, that actually is really good. Especially if it was for something like Street Fighter Duel, for example. That would actually be a really
Yo,
good
Dino, I have been searching for over a week now, okay? Which
No,
one?
you can't fix it. No, I was gonna say, didn't Microsoft buy Blizzard? What happened to that?
No, there's a lot of that hasn't actually gone through yet. There's a whole bunch of legality all over the world stopping
I'm
that.
just fooling. I don't know anything about that. I don't play Blizzard.
They're trying. They're really trying, but it hasn't exactly gone through yet.
Everything Activision's trying to buy, everyone's trying to stop them from buying it. I noticed that. They're
No,
just like,
Microsoft's trying to buy Activision.
oh, Microsoft's trying to buy, because I know someone was trying to buy Blizzard as well at one point,
Microsoft.
just like outright.
Well, Activision and Blizzard merged, so they're the same company now.
Okay, that's why. So it's Activision Blizzard or Blizzard Activision?
Actiblizz, yeah.
It's Actiblizz.
Blizzavision.
Actually, there is some downfalls to purchases too, because, for example, there's some instances where like a company can't say their parent name because if they do, a developer will be like, "Oh, that's actually a rival over there, so we're not going to work with you." So then you have to actually explain to them like, we're owned independently still, even though we're bought out. Don't worry. And then they're like, "Oh, okay, we can work with you." So
That's what GGG did. They got, when the Tencent thing happened, they're like, just so you know, we're still independent. Like, it's still just us. They're just backing us a little bit, but it's still all just us.
They're just giving us money, but we're still doing the work.
They're watching our every move, but just be reassured, we move for you.
Yeah.
What, remind me, Buka, you might know. So it was Bungie and Activision that made Destiny, and then Bungie got full autonomy of their game afterwards. Is that right?
Bungie, no. Bungie, Destiny was Bungie's thing, and then they got brought into Activision, and then I don't know what wizardry Bungie managed, but they broke their contract with Activision early.
Got autonomy afterwards, right?
Afterwards.
After That's
Yeah,
why.
so Bungie had Destiny, then they went into Activision, then they got out of their contract early, and now they're owned by Sony.
And who the hell's 433 or whatever the other one is that was working on
343, that's a Microsoft studio.
And they're not connected by Bungie or anything like that, right?
No, that's a completely different studio.
Okay. Because they took over
So-
Destiny at some point, right? Or am I
No,
bugging?
343 took over Halo. 'Cause
Halo, okay, I'm
Microsoft
mixing-
owns Halo, and then they brought 343 in as a
Okay.
studio to actually work on Halo games.
I'm mixing up the games. Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
They got another one coming up, right? Bungie.
Yeah. It's like a Tarkov's movement shooter type thing.
Goodness. Yeah, but Destiny players are getting.
I still play. I'm still an active Destiny player. I have Lightfall full expansion, every season pass to come
Fight the
with
good
it. Like,
fight, Guardian.
I
Fight the
still
good
play.
fight, Guardian. It's a
Yeah,
great game. It's a phenomenal game.
it's a great game, but I get why people are mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there.
So
I
I do want to move on before we end the call, and obviously you guys don't have to go. Let's talk about at least a little bit of a positivity on the game. Hopefully it's positive. What do y'all think about Virgil and Nero?
I just bought Nero. Like as we were talking, I bought him.
I need to wait.
I'm-
I need to wait for my funds to come in. I might not be able to get Revenant, Don. I'm sorry. It's either it's Revenant or Nero.
Oh, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Remnant's always going to be there. Nero won't be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait, sir.
What's Revenant?
What up, homie?
The movie?
No. It's a Remnant the game. Remnant 2.
Leonardo DiCaprio got a game? I
Imagine.
heard everything, bro.
What up, Tix?
For me, I definitely like that they have another means for a collab, right? Because like having a collab tied to I don't know how much it is. Like people say 500 to 1,000 or 1,000 plus for a collab unit, but
It's
if
like
people
1,500, I think, average
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a collab unit.
from
That's out of my
zero,
budget.
right?
Yeah, from zero. That's no thank
Yeah,
you.
so having it for like $60, it's really nice to play it. So like when you have that character in your own roster, like it feels like a type of way, right?
Mhm.
And it feels fun. Or at least if I did pay that $60, because I actually like what Pika would also back it up. Like Nero nearly made him not free to play. Also myself, because even though even if he wasn't like a good character, or his kit is good, but even though he's not like a crazy broken one, but just having something that is cool, right? It's also a positive.
All right, I want to add something onto what you're saying. I don't know if Dino can speak on it, because you're saying that you like the fact that you can buy a collab unit outright instead of spending an arm and a leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now my question: I don't know if Dino's able to share this information. Is that actually translating? Is what's happening now in the collab actually is that the case? Are people actually buying Nero because he's affordable versus Virgil?
Well, people are really invested into Virgil right now because he's really good. I mean, that I can tell you. So like Virgil is actually doing really well in conjunction to what the current player base is, which is really good numbers for special summons. So there is people that are capitalizing on special summons. As for Nero, I can't give that info just yet. It looks like it's on a good pace, but I wouldn't say it's game changing. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's anything blockbuster or anything to change drastically because of that. If that makes sense.
Okay, the reason why I bring that up is because how you mentioned that it almost made you and Pika not free to play. The problem is that it almost, the keyword is almost, it didn't make you spend, and we need spenders.
You gotta keep in mind that like Pika has a channel, and I also have like a channel to up. So then it's kind of harder to break ours compared to others. So we're not a good example.
But even then, but that's the thing is you are a good example because you two are the would be the player base where you're like, I'm almost spending, but I have other stuffs. You get what I'm saying? That's what I meant. It's like you guys are the target. Besides you guys being hella hardcore,
I think what he's saying is because you guys are tempted, why wouldn't somebody who normally spends wouldn't do that? I think that's what he's meaning.
Exactly.
yeah,
Like,
thank you. That because like you guys have a reason not to spend, which is understandable. But what about the other people that don't?
I think Nero's just the seasoning on the plate. Like, you know, like you already have Virgil, you already have it being a very exemplary unit, and then you have.
I will tell you why specifically, Zangief, why I didn't pay. Because I looked at it like this. I don't want to spend on Virgil. Okay, he's the most OP broken unit in the game, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just to put it out there. Nero is one of the top tank now because he buffs and he self.
you cut out Pika.
You're cutting out again.
Kind of
Maybe-
just a little bit.
Yeah, what I meant is Nero is one of the best, not the best, but one of the best, and you can utilize him in any lineup.
He's a good.
I
he
was
has good
thinking
value.
the game. Yeah, no, he doesn't have a good value compared to Flame Chun-Li.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. For him
Okay,
individually, yeah, perfect value.
Fair,
But
fair, fair.
$50 instead of $1,000, 100%.
The fact that Flame
but-
Chun-Li was the fact that Flame Chun-Li rolled out at a lower price point, it increased her value for what she does. And you're saying Nero is still a pretty good unit, but the price point doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
stand out to you as a good value. But if I for the data
Yeah.
for data purposes, you know, it's a similar situation at a higher price point. So hopefully it satisfies the developers parameters for getting to that number that they wanted to get to.
No.
with Flame Chun-Li.
It's not related to the
I think-
developers.
It's just
It's not
obvious.
related to the developers. But I'm gonna tell you something, and you will notice it. Nero will not sell as much as Flame Chun-Li sold as units, not as price, as money income, as units.
Yeah. That was the point I was trying to make. Was that it's gonna make more money.
Flame
but
Chun-Li is a game changer. Nero
Yeah.
is not a game changer. Just to put it out there like this. And why I'm not spending? I could have spent, but I decided not to spend. I saw how the game is trending. It's a slope down. It's a slow down. Okay, it's like a slope going downhill slowly. So how do you spike it? How do you make people pay? You don't do anything. You keep the monetization, the shitty strategy, but you give them another broken OP unit in the future. And hopefully one of them will be a legendary, and I'm waiting for them to give me a good unit actually for me to break the free to play. If Virgil was the one legendary and Nero was the one limited, oh damn,
I'm
right.
I
Go
would
and
agree with
buy
you.
them.
I'm waiting for that. So they I think what they were aiming for worked, and I'm gonna say because I would say the target is they want casual, and when someone looks at Virgil and they say let me spend my free 50 tickets, let's say they didn't get one, they didn't get a Virgil, and they're gonna be like, damn, that sucks. But they're looking at a Nero that's $50, triple S. I can get all that. Like my eyes go, ooh, shiny. Like I'm looking at Virgil, I'm like, oh, that's a big shiny. But then I'm looking at Nero and I'm like, oh, that's a shiny I can actually afford. Like it triggers something into my head where I'm like, I want to buy Nero. Like
That's what we call it.
The way I see it is like Virgil is like a Bugatti, but Nero's like a demon, right?
Yeah.
And that's way more attainable.
Yeah.
And you can have fun with it.
Exactly.
If you
Especially
could
when
get
I've been
that Bugatti,
riding
you
like
Sambuca.
hoopties. I've been riding hoopties
Sambuca,
all this
why
day.
would you ever buy a Bugatti when you could have a Hellcat?
Look. I'm just using names here because I'm just talking about brand names,
Let-
right?
Car
Look.
people would know. I don't know. That's a question because I know some people who would still pick a Bugatti over a Demon, and I'm just like,
I know enough too, right?
No.
Just because of the name, Bugatti, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would
it's
sell
builds
the
a prestige
Bugatti and
to it.
buy 2 Demons.
Yeah, but there's a prestige to the name.
Yeah,
that's
it's all
the
about the
thing.
name,
That's
bro.
the thing.
That's
People
where,
are
like,
paying for the
Supreme.
prestige.
Supreme is
then
literally
you
that.
look up- Then you look up how much the ceramic disc brakes or the ceramic disc cost for a Bugatti, and then you
They don't care about that.
It's
If they're buying a
only the
Bugatti,
name.
they
We're
don't
getting
care
off
about
track,
ceramic
we're
brakes.
getting off
Bro, people
You're getting off track.
People
That's my
spent hundreds of dollars on a regular old freaking brick,
Oh, yeah,
just
just 'cause
because
it's
it
Supreme?
had Supreme on it.
Yeah,
I hate them.
I was like, you should take that brick and hit yourself with it, because that's how stupid you are.
Well, it's more or less okay. If
Look,
we're
hype
gonna go
beast
on
is a
this
hell of a
tangent,
drug.
if we're gonna go on this tangent, and I'm gonna go on record saying this, I want it to be said. Supreme stole their art from Barbara Kruger. Look up Barbara Kruger. She's a political artist. I'm actually kind of like, if you guys don't need to know this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I wanted to be an artist, and I looked at like Supreme and Stussy and all these guys in the streetwear, and I wanted to be that. And then I learned who Barbara Kruger was, and she's a political artist, like an activist, and that font and that lettering, she did decades before Supreme ever did it.
You know what it is? Supreme capitalism.
Exactly, and they tried to sue her for it. That's the part that rubbed me
Wait,
wrong.
what? That's
Yes.
twisted.
Exactly. So that's why I don't mess with Supreme. Anybody who buys Supreme is a drone. I don't mess with that.
That's actually wild. No, I don't like that.
I love Bape. Wear Bape all day because Bape copies things satirically. That's their niche. That's why they make the Bape studs and all that.
Yeah.
And like that's Bape. I mess with Bape, but I don't like Supreme based on the fact that they tried to sue Barbara Kruger.
It's all about the money, man. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
At the end of the
But anyway,
day,
we got so far off track with Demons and Supreme, dude.
no, but the thing is, but the
We're
thing
talking
is
about-
like, it's not off track. That's the problem. It's like, we laughing like we got far off track, but like at the end of the day, it all still relates to the problems that we're dealing with in the game. We're just trying to find alternative means to describe our anger and anguish and our dissatisfaction to what we love. I think unanimously.
But I bought Nero. I bought him for the 50. Hey, here, let me put this into let me spin it and get on my shield box for a second. If you didn't spend any money up to this point and you're looking at Nero for $50 and you played this game for 3 months and didn't spend any money, if you divide 50 by 3, that's what? Let me bust out my calculator because I'm not good at math.
Like 15, 17.
Is it?
17.
Yeah, a little bit over 15, right? 50 divided by 3. That's $16.66 repeating, of course.
I was close.
So I mean, if you think about it, if you didn't spend anything for 3 months and you think to yourself, well, shoot, I could have spent $20 a month. You could have like Nero offset. You know what I mean? Like that's the perspective I'm looking at. Like, okay, but if you're doing free to play at like how Tix and Pika do free to play, and they're doing it for content and they're doing it to challenge themselves as that type of player, by all means, do not spend if you don't want to spend. But like, yeah, like if you're on the fence about it and you just think about it and you break it down, let's break it down by like, then you divide, it's 4 weeks in a month. The game's been out for 4 months and you're looking at Nero. That's $4 a week. You know, if you could do $4 a week from when you downloaded the game till now, it's $4.16. Six repeating, of course.
And it's a good
Like I
unit.
said, that was my shill box moment. Like
I mean,
I'll
I'll add on to that showbox moment. What would you want? Would you rather have for $50 a triple S 5-star unit that you can use off the rip, or would you rather spend $1,000 and risk not being able to max out a unit?
I'm free to play on Virgil. I can't buy any more red tickets. I tried to buy red tickets. I really did, but I can't. It hurt too hard. It hurt me bad. I need that pity, dude.
If you're
That pity.
if you're a person that you need a question, what I should buy Nero.
I don't think I like. If you're not in a financial position
If
to
you're
buy
not,
Nero, don't buy
well,
Nero.
yeah, no, but I
Yeah,
think we gotta. That's the thing is like I get the context, but at certain points we have to understand that we're not trying to say, oh, if you're outside homeless and you just got $50, don't buy Nero.
Yeah,
Like,
don't steal mommy's credit card to buy this unit.
yeah, I'm under the assumption that like if you're questioning, oh, I have money and I want to spend, you know,
That's
just
more or less my line of thinking, because when we were talking about some other stuff, or we were talking about like I said is like I personally budget a certain amount of expenditures. I personally budget down to the week, right? Because I get paid weekly. How much of my paycheck per week is it gonna cost me for like the next 3 months? So like then I'll probably tuck that 5 away every week to recoup that. You know what I mean? Just so I know that I had recouped that. So like everything that I spend, maybe not on Marvel Snap. I had to stop balling out. I'm
you're
trying to buy
a
a truck,
whale.
y'all.
You're a whale.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy. I'm actually being real conservative lately because I'm trying to buy another truck. But the point I'm trying to make is like if you look at it to a certain perspective, and like I changed my perspective on it, and I've been called, like I said, I've been called a shill before. It hurts. But you know, for better or for worse, if this game is not going to be a 10-year game, whatever, you gotta keep that in mind too. That it can be something that's long lasting, and if I feel like I'm doing my part, you know, even if it's a small part, but I'm not out to tell free to play players to break their vows, and I'm not out to tell whales to spend any much more than they already are. I'm just putting people, if anybody's listening to this, you know, like I'm just trying to put it into people's perspective on how I think about it. That's just how I feel.
I know it will never happen, but I would love to speak to a team of a dev member team.
No way, man.
I know it would never happen. I know no game
I don't know.
will.
I've told Turtle the structure of how our team
Yeah,
is.
no, it will
I'm
never.
gonna tell you guys what it is, right? So we have coordinators and managers and things like that, but the coordinators and managers don't speak directly to the devs. The directors and the leads do. So I'm part of that picture. But we also have a VP, but the VP is not like the product owner on our team. You know what I mean? So like with them, they just make the deals. We also help them to let them know like which games in the market we think would do well. And then we pick up the games. But like the developers, as we said, they're the main say. So anything that we give to the devs, whether we talk to them directly or we send it through email or however we do it, we do have that communication with them. And then like the managers and the coordinators will kind of like help the leads and the directors out with any information that we need to give. And, you know, when we get that to them, it's really up to the devs what they listen to and what they don't. But one other thing in terms of that is because their team is different, right? The devs, I don't know all of their titles, anything, how they're structured, but I know there's a dev team. But then the devs have somebody who's their boss, but their boss is the one that makes that decision. So it's not essentially the devs either. It is the devs, but it's not the devs. You know what I mean? There's somebody above the devs within their own company that also says yes or no to certain things that we bring to the table. That's what we're trying to bring to you guys as well, because there's multiple companies involved. So that's why we don't have a say in this as much as we'd like.
So at the end of the day, it's a suit's fault. Got it. Blame the suits.
Always 100% blame the suits.
Blame the suits. Because like I that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I asked like how can we reach the devs directly? That would be amazing. But I know
that's my role. So I mean that's the best that we can do. We just send all that info to them, but they're the ones that ultimately, you know, we discuss things, and then there will be somebody that obviously has a final say out of everything. The final say on their product, so say. They don't have a final say on like how we do everything else outside of that. So how we're doing like the ads and stuff. I mean, we do have limitations because of IP and approvals and stuff, but if they're not giving us the assets we need, we have to do something, even if they like what we're doing or not. You know what I mean? It's like we have say in those aspects, but we don't have say of how the game is made at all. Like, period. No say whatsoever.
Maybe one day things will be different.
For licensed games, I don't think so. I think for licensed games, it's always going to be the same, honestly. That's why I tell people if you're going to play a licensed game, or get into any gacha game, kind of understand like what you're getting into. If you know it's going to be temporary, you know it's going to be temporary. If you know it's going to be long term, short term, etc. And what you feel, what like the aspects that you have control over is the knowledge that you now have in deciding what kind of game you're playing, because you're not going to change it any other way. Like it's actually pretty impossible.
Well, the thing is, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, Beyond talking about just like this game's gonna go away. But just in gaming in general in our climate, unless you physically own the console and the actual physical media, whether it be a cartridge or a disc or something, and that game or the ability to access that game doesn't rely on a server, then you're paying for digital pixels regardless.
Right. Yep. That's accurate.
It's just how much are you willing to lose, right? Like you already know that you just get you get your enjoyment out of it and it goes away. And so like I've said to some people that I look at it as in, what am I going to get for personal enjoyment in terms of like, I guess, hourly enjoyment for what I put in, right? And I've put in like, I wouldn't say like crazy anything in this game, but for the money that I've put into this game specifically, and then hanging out, talking with people about the game, all that stuff, you know, even just playing with it, I take that all into account of what I've spent, and then to me, it equals out, if that makes sense.
I think I forgot who said it. I think it was Payne that mentioned it. He just put it out there. He was like, when you put money into a game like this, you're just renting it for now.
Yeah.
You're renting a lease, yeah. That's kind of what he's, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. It sucks, but because like, yeah, and how you mentioned like, oh, unless you own the console, like even nowadays, even if you own the console and you own the disc, if you don't have internet, you're screwed.
That's what I'm saying. Steam actually has a really nice feature where you can archive your games. So like I have like you can like download games to like a hard drive and then access Steam offline. And if Steam detects your game on your hard drive, it'll play it. So you can like archive your Steam games.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
But a hard drive is still deteriorating media, so you're gonna have to like continually back that up to maintain it and stuff like that. But
I have a question for Tix. This is because I saw that he said that he would spend for Nero. Tix. The day you no longer be free to play, you know the madness that you're gonna cause, yeah?
Probably not as big as if Pika was breaking free to play.
I don't know, man. But now the question, the next thing would be, knowing that the weight of the name Pika and Tix and what y'all doing, what would it actually take? Because y'all said that you would do it for Nero, but since you're not doing it for Nero, what would it take for you to break that? What, like how Pika mentioned, if Virgil was the legendary, he would have bought it. Is that all it takes? Pika already mentioned that it takes a busted character for him to do it. What would it take to not be free to play?
If it takes a busted character, I would have already spent on Fashion Chun-Li. To be fair. Because still right now, like if people, like not a lot of people still, like even when they do have Fashion Chun-Li or they didn't get it, just because a lot of the narrative was like Fashion Chun-Li is mediocre and mid, but To be fair, she's not. She's like she enables
Wait. Are you talking athlete, flame, which
Flame Chun-Li.
flame? Okay.
Yeah, she is busted, but not a lot of people are down to either put time down to play the team, because you have that team, and like, not a lot of people have her in the investment stage to actually advise to go for Flame Chun-Li, and the players that is successful with using Flame Chun-Li is already probably in a different leaderboard altogether, in the Wales leaderboard.
Question. Pika, are you still gonna make that one video we talked about?
Yes.
You are? Okay,
Yes.
I'll hold my tongue.
Okay, what is it? Is
No,
there?
no, you can talk. You can talk. You can talk. You can talk. It's
I can?
It's okay. Yeah, fine.
In the day before the update for the actual event released, they made a change to crit rate, and I just happened to be looking through because I get curious and I talked to Pika about this, but they made Flame Chun even more valuable because so before, once you hit crit cap, that was it. Once you hit 100%, that was it. That was the only benefit you got. So if we had units that came with better crit, more crit, Flame Chun-Li becomes less and less valuable. But what they did is they changed that for every percentage of crit rate you are over the cap of 100%, you get a small bit of crit damage.
Damn! I'm looking at it right now. I just realized, what the hell?
Yeah. So they've made Flame Chun actually more valuable.
It's a good thing I got her. Thank God. I
And
love
sorry
you,
when you talked
Zangief.
about it.
You the man, homie.
Sorry, Luca, for when you talked about it, I just flipped. I had a bad day before.
Oh no!
You know-
It's okay. It's okay. I've been.
You know what?
I want you to make the video, and that's why I've been like, I don't want to say anything. You know, I want you to make this video because I think you'll be able to like make a really good explanation of why this is actually ridiculous.
It is. What the hell? I just realized.
Yeah. So like with that, I've been on my personal teams. I've been actually stacking some of the crit ones along with crit damage, and even though on my Flanka team I'm taking the negative 80% or whatever it is, my Flanka team is still hitting like 400-500 million, taking that hit.
It's funny that you mentioned that because people were talking about it in the general chat. Greg mentioned it. He was like, I
wanted
the burn.
to talk about it for the event, Turtle. Like in the event, you don't need to take any buff that gives you pressure anymore, or
No.
or heavy attack or whatever. Just take crit rates and crit damage, and
Yep.
it will stack infinitely.
Yeah, and you know what? But the thing is, what I was trying to say is that not many people understand that, because Greg mentioned that he was like, my Dawson's doing crack damage, even with the minus 40 burn thing, because he does the crit one, and no one, even he, doesn't understand why he's doing that much damage. So Pika knows what no one knows. So it's not out there yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not out there, but to the right people, they can run away with it. And privately, Pika and I talking, you know, whatever, I understood his things with it, but those things didn't happen, so that's why I still wanted to make this video.
Yeah.
Okay, I also have like a one thing that I realized is that the more that you wail, it's not that whales are okay. This I don't know if you guys agree. But the more
I agree.
The more that you the more that you wail, the more lost you get, because you wail for units, you wail for everything, and you don't know which direction that you go with your account, and that makes your account either worse because you don't know where is your priorities. And if you
To some extent, it's true. To some extent, you have two categories of people. You have gamers, and you have business people. Yeah, you have gamers and there's business people, and they want to enjoy. So
Yeah.
how can I put it? Like Brainblade has a business called YouTube. He has a channel. Okay, he play games for fun, plus he do content to bring money. All right. So when he wails, he's not the strategic, analytic kind of like in-depth guy. He has people that saw his videos go viral and people watch it a lot. So they help him with the info and stuff. And I was one of them before I stopped. I used to give him a lot of info. He used to ask me a lot of questions, and I give him, and he make a video, and people understand more. Okay? When these kind of people do this, it's not bad, and they will not get lost because there's people to guide them. Other people are the normal whales that want to play the game, have fun, and have high scores. They buy everything. They don't know nothing about the strategy. They think it's a powerhouse to have this unit, this guy. They don't know even. Until now, I've never seen big whales except one. There's one smart guy that does that. Big whales that know how to use either Fashion Chun-Li or Akuma. Akuma, specifically Akuma. They don't know how to stack his Extreme and Conquer. Until now. So these players are not the gamers like me and you and other players. Sir Turtle reads. He opens the units. Of course he watches guides and stuff. I watch some guides and shit. You know, I ask questions too. I don't come up with most of the shit that I do, and I tell people like it's not my idea. So, thank you. Blah blah blah. XX. Like yesterday, I discovered that if you use 3 cars on Viper, she'll not deal damage. If you use 6 cars on her or 2 cars on her, she'll deal damage. If you use 3, 4, 5 cars on her, she will deal no damage anymore. You need either 6, either sub 3. Because when she have 3, the 3 out of 3, anybody who gets hurt, she removes her energies, armor, so her buff goes away, and she puts shield on an ally, and you don't want that. So without 3 cars, you can use her. This is a small subject that I'm talking. Other players are strategic players, are not free to play, also casuals. They read, they know this unit, they go for it, and they do high scores. And then when they wail, or when they do anything else, they understand fully what they're doing. So not all of the whales you can put them in the same category, but most of them, I see what you're talking about. Most of them.
Yeah. They just overwhelm. You know what I mean? Because like, for example, you have a bunch of legendaries, a bunch of divination or the other characters. You either get one, you just get shiny. You always, want to invest on your shiny units, which maybe even not synergistic or doubling up on the same slot that you already invested in, and neglecting some of the more free to play. But aside from that, it's just like also if you whale on EXP or if you whale on summoning tickets for unit characters, there's also like negative consequences for like pushing all that now, because like right now we don't have a lot of OG units that released in the game. So then the players that does spend a lot on the summoning tokens, they're just full. Their box is full of just food, and their box is just full of extra copies of units because they're already 5-star. And with the rates that they implement OG characters, their box is just gonna be more fuller and fuller as time passes. Right now,
if this game lasts long, just like AFK Arena, as if you look at AFK Arena, the best 20 players, I think, they are completely free to play. They're the one breaking charts and everything. 4 years, they have everything, they built everything to the max, and they're saved. Like they have excess summons and excess stuff. When a released unit comes up on the same spot and the same day, it's maxed fully, everything. So time and saving also play in. So if this game goes longer, you will reach a point that whaling is not something that will save you if you're on old account. If you want to whale and shine, you're gonna play a new account.
Yeah. I mean, also like what not a lot of people like take what a lot of people take for granted is that being a free to play, you basically you manage your resources well just because you know where everything goes. In the sense that like my breakstone is steady, my exp is steady, my unit acquisition is steady, everything is steady, that you don't have to keep track with so much other venues in the game, and you funnel all your resources towards like either game knowledge or just like understanding of your what your characters are given. And then in the end also so for example, if I right now since I know how most of the like where to spend or where to put your resources in, if I was a whale, then it would have been like, okay, I would have not done this, or I would have maybe have less priority on I mean not special summon, OG summoning, or not to rush breakstone or stuff like that, because you technically don't really I don't know if you understand what I mean, but there's also like some benefits of being a free to play, as in just like resource management, in the sense that everything is stable rather than one of them is being injected right with money. So you inject one venue, then the others are lacking, and you start to try to supplement that, and then it requires you to waste gems or other resources in the game to, like, for example, I talk about exp a lot. Like a lot of people buy exp, which is good, right? Because there's always an exp drought, but then they start to have some breakstone drought, which normal free to play players don't have, and they start to invest either cash or gems to up that drought. And in the long term, I don't know if it is worth your gems or the cash if you just did it manually steadily. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Another thing with the whole free to play thing, it takes a lot of discipline to know when to hold off on like going all in on something.
yeah.
Which is something that I noticed after a while when I started actually spending money on this game, which I regret because I managed my gems and everything poorly. I noticed that my units are just not built like other people's units now. And I'm just like, oh. So I look at free to play players to see like where I go wrong on stuff, because those guys, like, you guys are good at what you do. You guys are amazing at what you do. Like, you know how to manage everything. And going back to the whole, like, you invest into one venue, something's lacking. I noticed that a lot when I started spending money. So then I had to spend more money to try and catch up on the other things, if it was even possible, if I could even buy what was needed.
I mean, that's what I was trying to get at, right? Like, you get more units, you get more resources, like summons or characters. Then you start to like, okay, wait, but I can't use it if I don't have fighting spirit, if I don't have cars, right? And then you're like, okay, now I have to pay for their cars. And then once you pay for their cars, then you're like, okay, what else do I need? Because sometimes they just get over, they get replaced, or you're not going to use it at all. And sometimes they double their slots. Like you're building multiple units that does the same role because they're shiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just...
What was one of my main issues? I think it was when the game first came out, there was this bundle where you could get Chun-Li. And I was like, oh, they're giving her away for free. She must be good. I bought the 99-cent. I made my first purchase. It was like $1. I got her. And then I realized, what does she do? And then I kind of just stopped building her and kind of just plateaued into just like trying to upgrade every unit at once, not trying to manage anything properly. And now I'm kind of just in a drought of what the hell do I do?
Yeah, that's what, like, most... Okay, there's two guys. Dombuka, I showed you one of the screenshot of the guy. He started to get fed up because he doesn't know where to continue, because he's a giga whale.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, like now I have to build units every single time they release it, right? Because he's too used to not just holding off. He needs to get everything, and then just at that point where, he, like even though he is number one, he feels like he still needs to get that character. Or I don't know what I'm trying to say. But going back to what Hart is saying is that okay, OG Chun-Li is actually pretty good, but it depends in the scenario, because she's at the moment the only character that does what she does as a support.
I want to remind you,
The
they
thing
buff the crit. Okay, so she's now maybe super broken. Right now she's super broken. She was OP before, even before this. Now she's broken. She's busted.
I'll just say on my Flame Chun team, I have Chun doing. She's not even one of my main damage dealers. It's mainly Flanka, right?
Yeah.
She still does like 150 million damage just doing a C3 and giving me meter. Like that's all she's doing, meter, and she's dealing incredible damage because of the way things.
She's the best utility unit in the game. Now Nero is the second best utility unit in the game, by the way.
And even if you use Chun as a main DPS, it's possible, but the play style of OG Chun-Li is very different from how you typically play units in this game. It's you're not doing a lot of waiting. You're at the start.
I just want you, Buka, don't just make a video about what you showed me. People will not understand. Do you know that Buka releases 3 super at the same time when he's playing Chun-Li?
Yeah, you're playing pianos. You're managing.
Oh my God!
3 rotations.
C1, yeah, like super and super, C1 and C1, C2 and C2, C3 and C3 at the same time for different rotations in one combo. You're playing 2 combos in one time.
I've seen Don play a music rhythm game, so he would be the one to do it.
Me too. Yeah. By the way, yeah, you're right. I saw him play that.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, bro, what is this freaking monstrosity of colors? And he's just like banging out combos and stuff. So that's no.
By the way, Hart, you were 100% correct on the min-maxing stuff and knowing what to do. It's not like because you're knowing what to do. You choose the free-to-play style. So you have specific narrow options to pick the units and where to go with your resources. Like for me right now, I have like over 60 summons in my bag. I have 17 characters from stones. Like, and I can open the stones. I have second. He left. What happened? So I have 17 characters that I can pull from stones right now. I'm free to play. I saved them because the next upcoming unit, I want to max it and get more copies from it. And what Tix was saying about you were talking about the whales and they're like lost in their. Okay, one example I'll tell you about today. It's not like because he didn't have that time. He's on vacation. Flake, I have access to his account because I'm doing the free to play content on his account. And he told me he tried hard on his main and he couldn't reach like rank 7 or 8 on the leaderboards. I tuned some of his team. I put some strategies and he's rank 1 now on his server cluster. And I did that on his free-to-play account and he's rank 1. I did his crusade, he's rank 1. I did his crusade on his main, now he's rank 1 too. So it's not because they get lost. They get lost with the units that they have. They don't know what to choose anymore.
Pika, I have 2 things I want to add.
Me neither. I don't know what good team comps are for me anymore.
Yeah, I think there is multiple definitive metas right now, right? It's either the Flame Chun-Li or the Street Poison. Or I don't know. I haven't seen them use both, but I don't know if you've tried that, Buka.
If we get to the point of athlete Chun-Li, no meta will define as much as good as she. When she's 6 out of 6 plus 30. Because imagine Street Poison dealing also 100 million damage at the same time. That's what is athlete Chun-Li. She's gonna replace Street Poison soon if you get her. Oh my god, she's broken.
Okay, so here's another thing I learned that was bad. I'm a collectionist, so even if I don't have a character from Div all the way built up, if a new character comes out that I really like, or if I just want to like fill up my box, I will break my grind and just spend everything I can just to get that one character.
No,
And then I regret it like 10 minutes later
That's
because I'm like, oh,
fine.
they're
No.
Yeah, that's
Never
okay.
hate that. My only question to you is:
That's
are you
okay.
maxing them, or you just getting one copy?
I'm just collecting them because they look cool.
Yeah, no, then not do you, boo boo? Because everybody, I think almost everybody is a collector at
I do
heart.
the same.
Yeah,
I do the same.
I got my one Virgil. He's there. That's it. I'm never gonna triple S him, but he's my pretty trophy that's there.
Yeah,
So
no,
you,
I have Virgil and Dante.
yeah, no, yeah. So I have my one copy of Monster Hunter Ken, my one copy of Dante, and my one copy of Virgil. Now, for me,
Yeah, same,
they're
same.
just pretty. Pika, on the
Yeah.
other hand, he'll use these one copies. That man is a
I'm free
beast.
to play. I'm free to play. I so far any character that I can obtain in the game without money, I have it. So I love to collect these stuff, but legendary I can't collect them. Probably, hopefully they will do something like for Fashion Sakura because it was a flop. Hopefully they put it in the shard system, grind it or something.
No, see, what if they do like a thing where it's similar to Fashion Blanca but with Sakura, and they just find some way to compensate everybody?
The
Which
money.
there is no compensating
Yeah,
$100, but
money.
like
You're literally pissing off a whole bunch of people if you do something like that.
I know, but like we could use another legendary character that went through the same system that Blanca did.
Oh,
I will tell you from
no
experience,
one's against it. It's just the eyes of the devs will probably never do something like that again.
Money wise, it doesn't relate. It's not the responsibility of the devs or whatever. The devs are doing something else. Money wise, it's mostly concerned of the publishers. But the thing is, if let's say Fashion Sakura, she's not off the grid. You can't even buy her from the shop. I want to buy her. Let's say I don't want to be free to play. I want Fashion Sakura. I can't obtain her. Okay. So what do? Either they do a pack like $1 with some shards of her through time, paying $1 daily or every 2 days, you're gonna get her, or they can put her in the game because they don't want this player base to become smaller and they want to maintain it. Put it as grindable, like you need a month to grind specific scenarios to obtain a currency to trade it to have her. This is what AFK Arena did with dead units as legendary on their, like Yukio, Albedo, Ainz, these kind of characters. Now Witcher, they added Witcher, the Witcher, Geralt and Yennefer. They weren't there. Now they added them to, you need to grind for them for 6 months so they become for you. 6 months. Like you need to rent them for 6 months. Every month, so they become permanently in your inventory.
So they
Which is
pay
a good-
for the
good
rights
thing.
to.
So this is
assure
just
you
a,
that's
this
not
is just a
cheap.
question. Am I allowed to?
No. It's in the agreement. It's in the agreement.
Question. Am I allowed to talk about YouTube videos that have covered other versions?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but
Okay, so-
we just have to we throw out a context because it's always thrown out that their version, quote unquote, has nothing to do with our version.
Hello, guys.
That is true, but something we can take from them, because I believe it was the Taiwanese version. Mad Ryu was a legendary that you could obtain from the city shop. You could get shards for him. What I wish they would do something like
You
that
mean
in
Evil Ryu?
global. Yeah, Evil Ryu.
Yeah.
Mad Ryu sucks, but we'll get to that. Yeah, so what they did was it was more expensive than like think of like Jury in the city shop, how much she costs. Like it'd be something like that, but like a little bit higher. And then from what I remember, they don't even give you all 60 shards, they only gave you 15. They should do something like that for Fashion Sakura, if anything, if they want to bring her back. Just make it like a long grind to where you have to grind out city shop, you have to save, you have to be sure you want this character. And then sure, you can have them. It's just gonna take a while. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I feel like a lot of people would try to kill the devs though, but
Like when I knew that the Taiwanese version had that, I start to advise people to save their city tokens, and then right when Evil Ryu dropped or teased as special summon ticket, I was like, nope. There was like one guy, 11, I don't know who else who are like, okay, if he is not a city token unit, he's gonna quit the game, and then he did quit the game because he was the evil Ryu was in the special summon ticket. But yeah, I don't know if I see them giving away another legendary free, but
Yeah, that's all. It's a developer's decision for that at the end of the day.
yeah.
I think Fashion Blanca was just a one time with them.
Damn, he's so good though. He's used everywhere.
That's why some people are saying the devs regret it. I don't know.
Yes, I agree. They regret it. If they put Fashion Sakura to be obtainable as free to play and Fashion Blanca as for money wise, they will make more money. They will make crazy money from it. They messed up. They made the tank that deals damage, and because they don't test, they don't have testers. They don't play their own game. They didn't know his potential. And I've been saying this for a long time, but it's a fact. It's true. If they test every single thing that they do, they would never come up with so much bugs in the game and so much flops that they need to fix. And shadow patch.
But the thing is, Fashion Sakura is a girl, so I think that played a big role.
Yeah,
What?
they probably looked at the female cast since most of the like the majority
Give
of the
the same kit. Give the same kit that Fashion Blanca have to Fashion Sakura, and what Fashion Sakura does to Fashion Blanca. It's not that hard. It's just bad decision making from the devs. That's all.
Guys, Jury is a good chat actor.
No.
What?
It's a good one.
Who the hell is
They're good.
Jury?
Jury in our game, she's bugged. She's bugged, guys. They didn't fix her since day one. She doesn't gain attack if anybody dies, and she doesn't stack damage with her weaken. She's bugged, and we did many feedbacks, and they never fixed her.
Man,
Amazing.
remember, it might be working as intended.
No, it's not. They say this just to not put more work.
Look, I'm just saying, like it's sad that at this point we don't know what works and what doesn't work and what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the other interesting thing is we had players, for example, we had players that left feedback for like a specific thing, and we took it back. Hold on, let me disconnect this. We had like feedback that was given, and what was the consensus from the devs, and it was something with like the language of it. They said like this is how it's worded in the other version, so because it's translated the same way in the English one, we can't change it because of branding. So we've had issues like that. And it's like one word. It's like one word that people. It was something with like Cami and execute or something. So
Like, Capri.
I think so. And then somebody gave like options. They're like, use this word instead. Use this word. But then we showed that to the devs, and we agreed actually with the players, and they were kind of like, oh, this is our brand. And when we translated from the Taiwanese version that we're working on to this one, it matches what it should be, and they didn't want to change it after that. So.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like when you translate something to another language, it should make sense in the language that you're translating to for the people who are going to read it to understand it. So like, sure, it may like the term execute may fit like, you know, in Taiwan or whatever word they use fits multiple things. And for instance, in English, it doesn't work the same. So like there should be some sort of, you know, middle ground there to make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely asked them, and A+ even helped too, because they were like, I think the players are right here, and the devs just didn't want to back down from it. So
yeah, like I understand it, but like if you're going to deal with multiple languages, it needs to make sense in those multiple languages.
Man, it's starting to feel like these devs are in their emotions and eating all the freaking fridge and crying and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we're whiny babies and stuff like that, but like, holy crap, they're a hurt girlfriend in this relationship.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's way too
This is
insane.
business. This is why I'm telling you, they're not that professional yet. Maybe they're just. I don't care if they're 100 years old. They've been devs for their entire lives. Their projects are non-existent. This is the biggest game they started with. They're still amateurs in this zone.
Yeah, if you act like a duck, quack like a duck, you gonna be called the duck. So if you act like a baby and cry like a baby, you're gonna be called the baby. And I think that the devs are handling this like a child throwing a tantrum.
Change the
They're
wording,
responding to
because
us.
the
I
player
get
base-
it. I get they're responding
What?
to us. But two wrongs don't make a right.
But anyway, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. If we understand it and interpret it, like the execute, we understood that she will not execute somebody that's below 40%, but the 40% is bigger than her 200% attack. If the 40% is equal to her 200%, she will execute them. We got this. We understood it. But they didn't explain it further. They made us test and made me make a video only about DiCaprio to make people understand how. And the video has 5,000 views. It's not like nobody watched it.
Because I'm sure people want to be like, why does everybody keep saying DiCaprio's bad? Because they could be using her how she probably should be used, and she's working.
Yeah.
Yep. And
She's
also,
a PvP unit. That's it. That's it. You can't play her anywhere else.
don't forget that Bison's 6 cards also says execute.
Execute. Also below 40% if it matches the percentage. And it's not working, by the way. If it's 1 HP and he explodes and they have armor like Zangief against him, he will not execute him, no matter what. It's not working as intended. They don't fix, they don't review, they don't do anything. I spam, not me, my friends all spammed feedback and I went and upvoted them. Nothing happened. Minimal feedback they do. If something like will hurt the publishers and they fucked up, like, oh, the publishers can come back at us and tell us, we sold them this unit, it's not working. It's a scam. We will fucking sue you. They were like, no, we'll fix it. We'll fix it. Like, fuck off, man. Just do your job.
But then they went out of their way to actually fix the chat system that was in like matches, which was like, oh, they listened to that.
That one, when I seen that, I escalated that pretty quickly because
Like,
But they
That was really bad. That was really bad. I was like, I'm never going to be able to stream this game again.
Yeah, that's like I don't give them like a legit explanation.
I
which
want
was,
to
like,
ask you, why did they do that? Why did they do that?
They were probably trying to cater to like this casual crowd that they keep calling it. But in the end, what we noticed was in the end, like players obviously didn't like it like that. They wanted like a toggle option. Like they didn't mind it, but they wanted the option to have a toggle. But then like I came back to the devs and I was like, look, I mean, I see what you mean, but like we have creators that make content on this game and they can't make content anymore because you put a chat thing that they can't even turn off. And that's what got it taken down, obviously. And then they said that they would rework it. So
They doubled down on it. Like I like they removed it the next day. It's not there anymore in the battle.
he had a good explanation.
Yeah. And because they're stubborn and they think that it's a good idea, they made an update. No, it's back, but now you can turn it off.
Now,
Will not leave it. Like,
now
They
imagine
planned
this.
on- They planned on revisiting it. Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
planned to revisit
He said, oh, I guess that was in the thing.
Imagine this now. With all the changes that we've seen and stuff like that, I'm going to throw it out there. Dino is a massive reason behind it. Because, like, he's pushing for these feedbacks
we know.
and stuff like
We
that.
know
Now, here's my imagine. Imagine if Dino was never here. How would this game have been?
I
And
told Dino,
if he's
personally,
not
I
here in
told
the
him
future,
personally my
what
thoughts.
will happen? Because
Nothing. What will happen is
the
nothing.
game will burn, crash and
Seriously,
burn.
Nothing.
Nah, I think the game will crash and burn.
Nothing positive will happen.
Yes,
That's
nothing
for sure.
positive will happen. Yeah, exactly. That's where that's also a thing that like it blows my mind is that everything that we're seeing, everything that we're doing. That's why I asked the question: how can we impact the devs outside of what we're doing now? because in reality, no
The thing
other
is,
game and no
we-
other community has this. No one has.
You-
They don't have their own Dino.
Okay,
We
okay.
can't.
Everything have a limit. Okay, you can't even push Dino to keep nagging and saying stuff. In the end,
Exactly,
it
but
will
the fact that
backfire
we
on
do
him.
is what I'm saying. We
I mean, that's why
have
it's
the
a
weapon
point
that is
battle.
Dino.
Because if I kept doing that, the relationship between publisher and developer would be really bad. Like, I don't want it to
Yeah.
get to that point where it's like, oh, the game will actually shut down because the devs didn't like Dino and how he was wording stuff to them consistently.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
can do that.
but here's
The
the
devs
thing.
have
What I'm
right.
trying-
People don't know that. Like, as publishers, we have no say to keep them around.
Yeah,
Like, they can quit tomorrow if they wanted to.
exactly. And what I'm trying to say
Really?
is that you're
is this legal?
yeah. Why not?
Yeah, that's part of the agreements usually, especially with
Holy
licensing.
shit.
Either company can go. The publishers can say bye, or the developers can say bye if it doesn't work.
So so what I'm trying to say
Holy
is
shit.
like what other community, what other game has what we have now in the form of Dino and the staff that's carrying. And then what can we do if
There's a lot of games
we don't have that?
have good staff actually. Not specifically one person, but in general, a team and the staff that looks up for the game because it makes revenue and stuff like that. But for a game that have no rights for the IP or they don't own the IP and they're working that hard and they have a community manager that is taking care of the game actually more than anything else and putting so much time and effort. He's in every voice call. He's in every voice call. Dino is a legend, man. Yeah, you need to give him credit for that.
Yeah, no, that's why what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
what can we do outside of that?
But that's the
Nothing
thing,
actually.
there's
It's-
nothing we can do.
Well,
There's like
and that's
legitimately-
What we
scary.
understood, yeah. What we understood is the devs they have a closed mentality, and they're stubborn most of the time.
I don't know how true it is, but then if you do want to get like some more investors in it, you can just bombard their ratings of the App Store.
Oh yeah, just review bomb. Though they're doing more and more protections.
Yeah, like Google and doing it too. But if they notice that people are just review by exact period, they think that's like, as Turtle would call it, kind of like cancel culture in some way. So they're removing that option. So people have to genuinely do that in their own time, and it can't be like within like the same hour. So people like, yeah, they would have to spread it out a little bit more because the companies can take those reviews down because it looks like a review.
You gotta review napalm. Not review.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be like casual. Like how like, if you were to buy like something on like, I don't know, Home Depot or something, it was like
Listen,
really bad.
Yeah, you gotta
Listen,
you gotta Dalsum them, not Viper them. You know.
But listen, Dino, this will make you laugh. There's somebody who said something. He said like Chinese people in general and like the businesses and like devs, they're adapting the culture of the Americans. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. And he was like, look at the Netflix series that they did about Cleopatra. It has 1% on the reviews from the people, and from Rotten Tomatoes 5% or something like that. I was like, yeah, what's the point? And they're still, and he said they're still there and stubborn, and they will not back down, and they will keep going at the same thing. So Chinese looked at them and was like, if Americans can do it, we can do it better. We get 0 score. It was like, what the fuck? It was so funny. It was so funny. Yeah, but I think that the thing with the devs, what do I need to do? Like, bring them a flower, get on my knees and say, you're the most beautiful thing. Can you put pity, please? Like, what do they want? Like, how do we approach them? We did, if you read the feedbacks, all of them are polite, constructive, and speaks on point, everything. So, but there's no change. It have been like this for 2 months now.
I mean, yeah,
nobody cares.
The way they view community, right, is that you guys are now all. So, like the Monster Hunter Ken thing, and when that went down, they will definitely remember what you guys said.
So they're traumatized.
Well, the problem with Monster Hunter Ken is, I wanted to say this earlier, but I was still in transit home from work and stuff. that is that we had a weird sort of grouping of people where you have gotcha people who know what to expect, right? But then you have people from the FGC coming in because it's a Street Fighter name. And I'm sorry, but like when it comes to like Smash Bros, FGC, anything like that, they're the most toxic communities in
people.
existence.
Competitive games. Yeah, competitive games are like that.
And like there's individually good people, but like I mean, if you look at YouTube, you have like Probecat who made videos like The Wonderful World of the FGC, 3-part video series of just the insane shenanigans that the FGC brings. And just generally people who play them are like, there's good people, but a lot of them are really like obnoxious and disgusting. So like their feedback, like it sucks that their feedback is like leaving a lasting impression for the people who do care about the game or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like I don't expect them to like understand that, but like man, it really sucks.
Wait, I know. Is the Summer Yang chain, was that mostly from the feedback? Was that from like YouTubers covering it, or
so as I mentioned before, actually the devs don't even like, they don't watch videos. Like I'm not even joking. They don't know what your guys' names are. They don't know about what this Discord has, anything. We just give them information like what's going on with the game and what are people saying. So like when it came to the Summer Yang stuff, obviously you have A+. A+ does look at stuff here and there. And then I help as well. And I'm like, hey, this is what the community said overall. Can you guys do something about it? And then they'll do stuff. So they kind of like pick their choices too. Like it's not like they don't do anything, but they pick things. Some things you'll notice and some things you won't. There's been things that like players have said that they were like, oh, the devs are just hiding stuff. But then there was a lot of good fixes they did at the beginning and they still didn't communicate that. And players are like, what the hell? So it's even the good stuff? That's what I was trying to like tell people. I was like, yeah, even the good stuff doesn't get communicated. So they pick certain stuff to fix. And then some of them, they're like, no, actually, that was what we were meaning to do kind of approach.
I would say it's wild that they buffed crit rate and didn't say anything about it. And we just discovered it by chance.
Yeah.
It's not like they're hiding anything. They're not hiding anything negative.
I'm not saying they're hiding. They didn't communicate it. And
yeah, like that's what players think. Because players at first, they thought, oh, the devs are going to be the one who will hide the negative stuff. But then they realized, what the fuck? It's even the positive stuff. So that's just not, I don't know. That's just the way of the devs thinking and how they approach stuff, but they don't communicate anything, even if it's good. So
yeah,
like the biggest shock that I've ever had without them communicating, because there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the patch notes, right? But then the biggest shock was that when they implemented a card duping system, and I just hit the button and I saw that button, I was like, wait, where was this mentioned anywhere? And it's like a whole new mechanic.
Oh yeah. The one thing is apparently absolutely godly compared to the one they have in CN. I remember Scion touched on it, but like I've seen it other places as well, where over there apparently you get like a car like frame, but you need to like build the car through like a gacha type system. So you need to get the wheels, the shocks, the brakes, the engine to make one car.
Files.
And that can take like a month to make a single vehicle.
Don, it's in the game. It's in our game. It's in the files. I wonder when they will release it. Actually,
I don't think they'll release it at this point. That'd be a bazooka to the foot.
Yeah, it will be the death of the game. Actually, yeah, but it's in the files, by the way.
I'm sure it's probably there. But like they haven't.
Bro,
they haven't taken it like.
The next call-up is in the game.
Damn.
I will not talk about it. It's in the game.
Okay,
I love it.
Can you DM me? Can you DM me what you found? I can't believe they did it that early. I'm curious. If you can DM me that, because I'm actually surprised they do that so early. Let me see.
That's why it's kind of like
God damn it! He's accurate, actually, but yeah.
So here's the thing. With a little bit of poking around, you can get a lot of stuff very easily out of this system.
Yeah.
It's just the way things
I'll
are
not
packaged.
talk about it. I promise. I will not say any word.
Okay. If you, I don't mind if you talk about it like before the event. Obviously,
It's like a theoretical thing.
No. I may mention like we have like this and this because there's some tools that we gathered through
All right, wait.
stuff, the survey,
Pika.
blah blah blah.
Pika. Can the collab be spelled with 4 letters?
Bro, that doesn't help because this is a confirmation. I will not say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it either.
Got it. That's a yes. Understood. I love you.
but it's a good collab.
Yeah.
Think
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna throw this out for context. Anyone that's listening in future or whatever, if you did the survey for this game, and you have brain cells that you can connect 1 + 1 = 2, you can kind of get a guesstimation of what the companies are looking for the future collabs of this game. So if you did the survey and you remember what's in the survey, then you can be like, that might be in the game. Just throwing that out there, because it's not like us here in this room now. We're talking in like cryptics and stuff like that because we don't want to like say stuff that's unconfirmed. But 1 + 1 = 2. Y'all learn how to read. Figure this shit out on your own. The information is everywhere.
Look, whoa. Some people think 1 + 1 = okay.
Bro, listen. In a world where flat earthers exist, I believe it. It's people are just not that smart.
Well, honestly, that data mining thing, like, I don't even mind if creators talk about it personally, because it's out there at that point. You know, like if it's there, it's there.
I mean, if we're gonna get down to like brass tacks,
Listen. I dare anybody to data mine one thing. I dare anybody to data mine one thing. I dare anybody. Go data mine if you can. What I do is special.
I'm not trying to one up you, bro. I'm just saying, I do a little poking myself. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a question that
I do things differently, bro.
So I have a question that I've been thinking about for like a while. I know in like VIP Max, you're supposed to get like special codes in the mail every now and then. Apparently,
That's not Max. That's not Max. That's before Max, actually.
Have those ever been given out? Like, I'm so curious. I've never heard anyone talk about them.
So Painblade, I don't think he realized it, but he showed it in one of his videos, and he didn't really realize what he was clicking on at the time. But occasionally, it looks like you get like div tickets and stuff. Who knows how frequent it is unless you're actually at that tier. But he got like gifted like div tickets. It was like 10 or something like that, plus a bunch of other things.
Wow. I want div tickets.
So I'm gonna doubt that they give you like special summons tickets. The one thing that I do think is annoying is that so there's obviously VIP levels beyond 15, or maybe not obviously, but if you didn't know, there are VIP levels beyond 15. The one thing that does bother me though is that when when they have these what do you call it? Perks. Is it perks? Where is it? You know the one where you get like a character and then you like unlock a tier and then you can like purchase a thing.
Yeah.
The growth packs. So for you and I, the regular layman person, we see them end at triple S. But after a certain tier of VIP, it actually goes to triple S +5, and you can get a triple S car at the end once you get them to triple S +5. But that's hidden from the rest of us.
Well, that's annoying.
That's the whale bonus.
That's the whale bonus.
I'd
It's
love some more.
completely
I
hidden
didn't-
from us.
Sorry, you were cutting for me. My internet cut off. What did you say? Can you repeat, please?
Oh, I was saying in the growth packs. So say you have Summer Yang, and you get Summer Yang to triple S. You see, you get or you get a double S vehicle kit.
True.
After a certain VIP, you actually get rewards for triple S plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, and at plus 5 it gives you a triple S car kit.
Oh, okay.
But you have to you have to be like above like I don't know what VIP it is. I think it's probably VIP like 13 or something like that. But the rest of us don't even get to even see that's there.
Damn.
I love Street Fighter 6.
It's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, whale bonus, right? I guess.
Whale bonus.
Well,
I mean,
it's-
at that
it's-
point,
it's-
that's literally
it's
whale
a reward
bonus.
for
You're,
how much
you're
you
paying
pay.
money for
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
Like,
Yeah, I don't mind these kind of stuff.
yeah, I don't mind that. Let them get the extra
'Cause
stuff.
I asked Payne and Mark, I was like, yo, like, where do you guys get those? And they had no idea. And we figured kind of like, I looked at my VIP, my friend's VIP, their VIP, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, whale bonus.
True.
Also, what Pika picked up, there. I don't know when's the other one gonna appear, but there is that celebrity one that I mentioned. So
I
it should
hope
be that
it's not a
celebrity
K-pop.
one.
That's what I hope.
I'm just going to say, I will flip my entire condo building if it's Lupe Fiasco.
Bro,
It's Canadian rap superstar.
Not even happy flipping. I'll be mad that Lupe Fiasco made it in instead of Daigo the fucking beast Imahara. Okay,
I'm telling you, Don,
Yeah.
it's Canadian rap superstar Drake. He's taking over the world and he's coming to Street Fighter Duel.
Oh, sick. I'll scream Drake till I fucking pass out. Like, what's his
Wait,
name?
Dino. Wait. It's not in the games, by the way. The whatever he is, the celebrity. So I guess it's after the collab.
He should be coming after that one that you missed.
Oh, okay, that's why. All right.
Oh, Dino spoiled. It's a he. Ladies and gentlemen, we know it's a male.
God damn, it's Lupe
It's
Fiasco.
a male. It's not a she. It's a male.
I hope it's Keanu Reeves, John Wick skin.
Oh, give me John Wick.
That'd
Yes,
actually be hilarious.
please,
No,
bro.
it's just the Fortnite guy.
Just the Fortnite
Look,
guy.
I will
We're talking
always.
everybody's Fortnite guy at this
Every-
point.
Do you know who deserved this? It's Jet Li, Van Damme, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is dead. Rest in peace. So
I mean, technically, we got Fei Long, so
We
they
have
won't.
Fei Long.
They
No.
won't do that.
We'll get Jackie Chan Chun-Li skin.
That would be awesome. I
Hopefully.
always push this, but give me any member from Wu Tang. Come on, give me Method Man. I'm happy with Method Man.
We don't need Method.
give me Dennis Rodman, man.
No, we don't need Dennis Rodman.
Oh my God, Dennis Rodman. All right, you know what? If you don't want Method Man, how awesome would it be for ODB? Old Dirty Bastard in the game, just on t-shirts off, hair all over the place, just going nuts. That's hilarious. All right, but we're going on a tangent. I think this is now a perfect time because this is like a 3 hour. What is it now? Yeah, 3 hours. I know Jake says it that this seems like it's our therapy or whatever, but the thing is that we're all very, very passionate about this game. We all love this game. We all love this community. We're all friends with one another, so we have this passion, not only just in the game, but we have this passion outside. We're all I consider everybody in this call a dope friend of mine, including you, Dino. Dino, you the homie. You my friend. There's no title. None of that shouldn't matter anything. So I love you all. You all rock.
I just got here, bro.
I still love you. It doesn't matter.
Don't worry. I'm gonna start being more active. I kind of want to get more into this game because this game is fucking fun. It's just
Yeah, bro. Outright, like the amount of times I've heard where everyone says the game is amazing, the community is amazing, and that's what keeps them staying. That's what keeps me staying. That's why I do these calls and stuff like that for the game and the community. But outside of that, you guys have anything you want to say to the webs before we end the call specifically for YouTube? No? Okay. Spend money, folks. If you want Street Fighter Duels to survive, Like it's a 50-50. This is hard. Don't break your back. Don't break your bank. Don't fall into addiction. Mental health, wellness. They are out there. You're not alone. Talk to people that you need to talk to. If you don't feel like you got friends in communities. Find them. There are many people in here that are willing to listen, willing to help you process through. Even if it's not in the community direct, they're willing to talk to you in DMs. But everything outside of that, we love you, and Friday Fighters are out.
Bye.